Hello, how are you guys? If me, I'm fine. Okay, this time Nabella will tell you the title. The Good Dinosaurs 2015 is an American computer animated drama adventure film produced by Pixar Animation and released by a film directed by Peterson. It tells the story of dinosaur who best friend small human. What's more, I don't need to mince word anymore. Let's just get into the storyline. Let's go. The beginning of the film opens with the life of a pair of dinosaurs who are behind the mountains to their clothes. They always work together every day due to gardening, starting from cutting trees, making files, and even watering plants. One day, their three eggs hatched. Libby became the first child to hatch, followed by the last bug. Arlo, the owner of the biggest shell among them, but Arlo's body was the smallest of his siblings. They were then taken for a walk to the garden, and his mother told him they lived behind the closest mountains. A short time, now the three of them are starting to grow big every day. Libby, even Arlo, always help his parents with the gardening. That day it just so happened that Arlo is given the task of feeding livestock, but he who is cowardly cannot carry out his duties properly. Yes, he is indeed very different from his true brave brother. Besides being small in stature, Arlo is a coward. Henry, or the father, then put the food that Arlo broke back into their barn as a sign of the success of the father in making a barn to secure food from stolen other animals. His wife told him to put a palm sign in the barn that there his son also wanted to do it, but his father said they can only leave a mark here when they have done something big. It didn't take long, but the second son managed to get the green light to put his mark because he had succeeded in clearing the garden. The next day, Libby was also able to catch up with Buck himself. He had succeeded in making a different file from Arlo himself. He looked still afraid when asked to feed his livestock. Once in a while, Buck pranked Arlo because he was annoyed to see his younger brother who never succeeded in carrying out his duties. Arlo is also angry with his brother. At night, he is still upset. At night, Arlo is asked to go for a walk by his father. He was told to walk first by his father. He is attacked by Arlo Firefly, who is afraid to panic. Then his father catches up with him and blows the fireflies let out their light. Then his father also blows it into the other grass so that the other fires light up. It's really good, isn't it? In the morning, given a new task by the father to catch kidnappers who have been going into their food barn because if they are not caught, they will have enough food in the winter. After being told tips and tricks by his father, Arlo is now doing his job. But when he managed to catch the thief, he is unable to kill the thief and the thief runs away. It seemed they had also come out of the files at home. His father said to Arlo himself he did not to be afraid of getting lost as long as he was still looking at the river. Arlo fell there. The river overflowed. His father tried to throw him to a higher cliff, but unfortunately, when it was his turn to go up, and finally he was carried away by the swift currents of the river and died. Now the mother is working even harder to collect food before winter comes since Henry died. Arlo always looked to have his mother stop putting food into, but he saw the thief again. It made Arlo remember the bitter memories with his father when he was going to catch the thief. Arlo kept catching the thief until they fell into the river. Arlo was still cowardly. He kept screaming for his mother and then fainted because he hit the rock. When he woke up from his fainting fright, when he realized he was far from his house, even he went up the hill, he couldn't see the top of the mountain. The river, he was sure to be able to go home. He with his weak leg, then walked on the bank of the river. He was hungry to try to eat raspberry, but he failed to eat it because he fell and his leg was hit by a rock. He kept trying to get his foot off the crushed stone, but never. Because of fatigue, he finally fell asleep. But in the morning, it was if someone had stepped the stone and Arlo's leg was able to escape from the overturned rock. Because it was raining that day, Arlo tried to make a protective roof. When the rain stopped, suddenly the thief came and gave a small fox to Arlo and didn't want to eat. Because he was a herbivore, he was still annoyed with the thief and saw again. The thief gave an insect to Arlo and Arlo still didn't want to eat it. The thief never gave up the goat and came back with raspberry. Of course, Arlo was hungry, immediately ate it. Then Arlo asked the thief for help to be escorted to a raspberry tree. The tree was on a steep edge. When he arrived there, the thief forbade him to take the raspberry. You know why? The egg had one very evil snake. The thief then attacked the snake until the snake ran away frightened. Soon, a triceratops or other ancient animal appeared who said to Arlo that he wants living things or the thief. He also challenged Arlo if one of them managed to give a nickname that made the owner call him several times triceratops with various powers, but he never saw. Arlo called him Spot or the thief and approached Arlo. Since then, he was named Spot and will always protect him. It was then that he was named Spot and would always protect him to the destination of his journey to return to the Clouded Mountains. See, on the way, Arlo was also taught to swim by Spot, but he cannot because he was hungry and ate one fruit that made they are hot. And they are playing around. The night came, blowing the grass which made the fireflies there come out with their light and fly around during the break. Arlo told me that he really liked it, but then made a miniature with 3 branches. Depicting his family and himself. Their spell also joins in, however, why did were miniature show that it was mother and father instead, buried as if the person has died. It's like Spot parents was died. The morning when they were traveling back, a big storm hit the area. There saw lightning appear. Arlo, who was traumatized by remembering the incident with his father, chose to hide until the storm was gone. After the storm went to meet the Brachiosaurus, he asked if they knew the clouded, the thunderclap, or the leader of them entered, they knew the way to get there. Give a small house for him to eat it, was afraid and would definitely eat him, choosing to run away quickly to save spot cheeses. Cheeses are enough longer. Arlo was run away. Until arriving at a place where there were two T-Rex named Axie and Rory. Those who were afraid ran back and forth, and when Arlo felt they came and helped him. Then another T-Rex named Dust invites and continues his journey to catch the cattle thief Arlo. Also over to them if they have a keen sense of smell led their journey successfully. Modified child Pawan's livestock. Then, spot leading their journey, they managed to find traces of livestock. After running following the footprints of livestock, their death thought had signed to lure the thief to do it very carefully, so that it arrived in the middle of the cattle. After screaming, it appeared it was Palace Crater when the thief was about to give up Arlo. So there was a fight, there ran scared, and it was clear the three T-Rex were the MVP in this fight. At night, Arlo and Spot not together with the T-Rex to rest together. The three T-Rex told one by one the stories behind the scars, that they had wounds and part of their toes couldn't feel their bodies, whole faces were injured from fighting a big crocodile. Then I'm afraid that later we can beat it, but we can't get through it. The T-Rex was to send his livestock to Telaga, but he had not yet arrived there. Arlo saw the peak of Mount Clouded. Then Arlo said goodbye to the T-Rex, then continued his own journey with the Spot. Now Arlo is walking along the river there. Arlo is very happy when he sees the sound of clouds coming from across. Apparently, a living creature similar to Spot. Then Spot woke and approached him. But Arlo suddenly raised Spot into his back while saying we have to go home. At night, when walking, suddenly a racing potter appeared and dropping Arlo into the abyss. Arlo tried his best to escape from the road. Strong as the theme of survival can be, roots the stuck in his body. Then Arlo's father came to help. It was just a fantasy when he realized that Arlo then tried his best to get rid of the roots. There, after being released under the pouring rain, Arlo ran as fast as he could to find his best friend. Now managed to find Spot, who was on the bank of the river because he was trying to save himself from Triceratops' clutches. Seeing his friend being threatened by Arlo bravely, but he managed to fight his enemy by cutting a nearby tree until it fell and was carried away by the river current. Spot also beat the wings there, causing him to run away, and also managed to hit him with a tree branch to make him the opponent fell into the river, but just finished he was managed to fight Arlo's enemies, who were rushing to help the Spot, and was swept by the river water. Arlo never gave up. He kept trying as much as possible to find and help the Spot. After he managed to reach the Spot, the rain came again, and Arlo, and then they were swept away by the waterfall with his best friend. With his limp body, Arlo broke an unconscious spot to the bank of the river. After realizing, he continued his journey back to the house, but again he heard the sound of a code that was very similar to Spot, and then saw a group of creatures that were the same as Spot coming closer. They were closer to creatures that, and when the Spot got back up to his best friend, Olo begged with a heavy heart. Lord the stop. Then Olo gave them a code that they are a Spot family. Spot also said goodbye to Olo. He then left with his new family. And the Arlo was sad. Now arriving at the plantation, the mother seeing her child. She is also happy. They are hugged by each other. And then Arlo is signed his foot in stone. And the story is end. That's all from me. Bye. Thank you.